Hello.
Hi.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm alive. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? You are at least one step ahead of our lovely characters in this movie tonight. So that's good. That's good. So for those that don't know, Miss Lydia Nash is an awesome, awesome actress. And I think you produced some things as well. You've uh,
got something got something exciting coming. So yes.
ooh. Okay. Perfect. Uh, whatever details you can tell us, tell us. If no details, then it's fine. Full surprise.
Do I want to kind of it's a surprise. But it's my very first shindig as far as this particular thing goes. Oh, you're buffering.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, let's dive into Death Becomes Her. Maybe later on, maybe you'll allude to some things that you're working on later.
Maybe.
Maybe. No pressure. No pressure, Lydia. I'm not here to pressure you, girl. Okay. So, first things first. What are your thoughts on Death Becomes Her?
I love it. It's so funny, but it's super real at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some good lessons in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like we need to take care of each other
Yeah.
and try not to be too vain.
Yeah.
And everybody will die. You can't cheat death. It's a big thing. You can
Oh, it's a
try.
big thing. Yes. Yes. And you know what? I have to agree with you. I like amongst the fantasy, the ridiculousness, the comedy, they had some real messages woven in, and it was great. I think the writing and the acting was amazing. Because it's just like it could easily be hitting you in the face, but it's just it's the way they do it is so seamless. It's so funny that you don't feel like you're being preached to at all. It's just a good time. Um, so thank you for this pick because it's been a while since I'd seen it, and it reminded me like how much I love it. So I appreciate it. I
I've
hadn't
been
watched it in a long time.
wanting to see it for a
Um,
long time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So this was your first watch?
Yes. Well,
Ah!
actually, I refreshed myself. I started to watch it again before this, so first at night.
Okay. Yeah, a true classic always holds up. Always holds up. Um, this movie was so 90s and I loved it. Like even like I don't know if you saw, but like the curtains, some of the curtains in it was a quick look in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the same like leafy green pattern that I saw in some stuff with the Golden Girls show, and I'm like, hey.
Oh, that went over my head, but I love the Art Deco stuff. That was
Oh yeah. Yeah, even the lighting and the choices in lighting, I'm like, oh man, like it's very cemented in that era. Like you can see it, the difference, like how they light actors, how they light the scene. It's different than now, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean like that has its own distinct style.
and now
That's
I know what I'm looking for because I did take lighting. So, but I liked how they did like when she was driving in the car and she looks up at the rear mirror and she goes ah and she screams and they just it's hilarious. I love the blue lighting on her.
yes. And also when Helen is explaining her plan.
Mm-hmm.
And she's saying, oh, she'll answer the phone, and she's talking on the phone, and you see that eye light, just everything else
Yeah.
is in shadow. I was like, oh, I love it.
I love some Morticia lighting.
Yes, girl. Yes, more of that. And so I thought it was funny, right? Like there's so many funny lines. I wrote down a bunch. I have a bunch of funny lines that I loved about the movie that I'm definitely going to be like saying. But one of the funny things to me is when she took Helen took Ernest for the Madeline Ashton test, and she is flirting with him right in her face. I'm like, yo, we about to scrap because this is
I know.
this isn't some high school boyfriend. This is my fiance,
Watching it.
and you were all up in my face. And she told him, "You don't understand." And she takes everybody. He's like, "I have no interest in Madeline Ashton." Smash cut. Smash cut. They are getting married and coming out of the church. I was like, yo, that was a nasty transition. I love that. Was nasty.
It did her so dirty.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? Honestly, like, Ernest paid for it. He paid for it. You know what I mean? Like that decision, he betraying her like that, he paid for it. So much that by the time you really see what he's become, you're not like it's not like, oh, you deserve this. It's like, oof, karma got you, didn't it? It got you. It got you. Let's see. All right. So what was one of your favorite scenes? I know there's so many. I know there's so many.
When she turns around and she goes, I can see my ass.
Wait, when her neck is turned around or oh, yes. Yes, that was hilarious. I actually watched, I recently, when I was checking out the movie again, I came across like a behind the scenes of how they did that, with like how they filmed it with her neck around, and so Meryl Streep wore like a blue head, because at the time it was blue like head down over her head, but she had to like walk backwards and do all the movements. So I was like, oh, I was very impressed, and a little concerned, like, because if it was me, I probably would have tripped and fallen. I don't have that left. So the other thing is, and going back to Ernest and him paying for his decision, which, just to let you guys know, Death Becomes Her is what we're talking about, movie from the 90s. So feel free to drop any questions or comments that you guys have. But he was a plastic surgeon, and she, years of what I think is verbal abuse, right? Beating him down. I don't know if the alcoholism is what caused him to, to lose his practice. If he couldn't keep up, it was too much. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you think?
I took it as he was drinking because of her, because she was so unbearable.
Oh, no.
And then
I know. No, yeah. Okay. Sorry.
And then I thought it was interesting. She makes him become a mortician, which is kind of foreshadowing.
Right. The writing on this. Oh yeah, the writing on this is just amazing. Even the dialogue, the lines they choose to say when they say them. So I agree with you. I definitely think that she drove him to drink. My theory is that he was drinking so much he couldn't. Huh?
No. Sorry, I was.
Oh, no worries, no worries. My theory is that he drank so much that he could no longer function as a plastic surgeon and had to close his practice. Because I feel like if he had botched somebody's surgery, they wouldn't be living in that house. You know what I mean?
True.
Lovely says, my favorite scene had to be... Oh, she didn't finish writing it. Okay. So tell us.
Make us shiver in anticipation.
Yes, I want to see what your favorite scene is. Yeah, so yeah, she definitely drove him to drink. There's no doubt in my mind that she drove him to drink, just based on how she treated him. And kind of coming back to some of the foreshadowing that you were talking about before. Let's see. So the fact that when the house, I guess housemaid, I guess we'll call her a housemaid. The housemaid, when she went to go wake him up in the study or whatever, he's like, "Is it up yet?" And she's like, "It's in the shower." I was like,
Do you know
"Oh."
what that means? Because I was like, huh? Even after,
So I
or
took
is that?
that to no. He's talking. I definitely think they're talking about Madeline, and that it had gotten to the point
Oh,
where he
yeah.
didn't even address it as like, how, my wife. No, he's almost like he's separating from her, like already, like there's no ownership here, there's no love here. Is it awake? Can I get away? Like, like she's just this cumbersome thing now. Oh, hold on. Oh, I think we got our answer. Okay, so Logan says, sorry, I didn't finish. My toddler sent it early. My favorite scene had to be when he fell off the building and all they did was roll their eyes. Didn't make the connection of the foreshadowing of him being a mortician. Yeah. Yeah. When he fell down off and they just rolled their eyes, that was funny. But that, like, at that moment, like, I'd expected it before, but in that moment, I realized, oh yeah, officially, Helen and Madeline, same people now. Same people. Same people. They were different before, but all those years of vengefulness, anger, bitterness, Helen let it consume her, and she, in my mind, she became Madeline. She became Madeline.
Not so different. You like that sort of thing.
And on this second watch, well, it's not a second watch for me, but it might as well have been as long as it's been for me. But on this watch, I noticed that all this time I thought that they were in this big house because of like her previous success as an actress. No, it was all on his dime, his success. Like she was literally riding him and draining him, like mentally, emotionally, financially. Like, I mean, he has money. They're good. But what I'm saying is, like, she brought nothing but pain and heartache. That's kind of how I saw it. So, guess I'm seeing the ringing circle of death. Is that me that's frozen, or are you frozen? You guys let me know if you guys can see or hear me. Oh, lost her. Lydia will be back. But in the meantime, while we wait for Lydia to come back, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit more over. Oh, hey, Brandon, movies review. We're talking about Death Becomes Her. Waiting for Lydia to get back on, my guest. She had a bad connection. Lovely says, we knew she wasn't a successful actress based on the opening performance. I'd actually forgotten about that. I am glitching. So now I'm glitching. Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to get Lydia back in here. I don't want to have to like restart the live like I did last week because that was so annoying.
Contact. My phone turned into a potato. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
That's a super good point, though. Because yeah, she's supposed to suck. She's supposed to be really bad, like a bad.
Oh yeah. Hey, Brandon, movie reviews. Oh, we are good. We're talking about Death Becomes Her, the 1992 comedy fantasy horror movie. So feel free to join in. Yeah. So the beginning, right? She's doing her show. People are literally leaving in the middle of it. Like you know it's bad if you paid for it. You're definitely not getting a refund, and you're like, I'm gone.
And this lady says you could wake the dead or something like that. Like
Yes.
that
Oh
part.
man, and you know what's so funny? Let me actually. Now that you've mentioned that, let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So, right after, um, Madeline has shot Helen into the fountain, and she's sitting there just savoring. She said, "These are the moments that make life worth living," which is so ironic because she had just died, technically. Like she was already dead at that point herself. So it just a lot of these little like positioning where they put the lines and when they put the lines. Very
Oh.
interesting. Very interesting. Um. Oh, did you see the Frankenstein comparison? Did you see it?
Yes, and somebody's name was Frank something. I think it was the doctor. Maybe the guy with the droopy eyelid. That was super funny to me. The like when their eyes start like a doll,
Yeah.
you know, the doll thing. I think
Yes. Yes. And
definitely.
and even when Lovelace says the writing was just so good. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So even when Ernest, you know, is in the hospital. Well, is it in the hospital or at the house? Something like that. Oh, in the house. He goes, "Oh my gosh! This is wild! Like this is against. This isn't what is supposed to be happening, but it is." And he goes, "It's a miracle!" And there's thunder and lightning behind him. That's literally the same thing in Dr. Frankenstein. It's alive. It's exactly the same thing. And I was like, "Oh, I see what you did there." Like it just,
Definitely.
I mean, listen, you could like even when something is silly and funny and ridiculous, like when it's good writing and good forethought, you see all the little like the little nods and the little like things. Like I appreciate it so much. Um, and even to when they were in the hospital and the doctor had left and it was just him and her and Ernest, and he's like telling her like you are literally breaking every law of nature that I know or something or natural law, and she like looks at him because that's literally what Lisa, well, I think Lizelle, what her name is, Lisa said to her was like, forget natural law. So I thought that was a cool like callback connection. I was like, oh, I see what you did there. Just watching this movie like older, I get it. I totally get it. Um, so, all right. Let me know, guys, if I'm glitching. I see that Lydia has paused again. I think she's coming back on though. Lydia,
Hey,
you
can
with
you hear
me?
me?
I can
Yeah,
hear
can you
you.
hear me? You can see me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see you. So
Yeah.
I know that I was doing a lot of talking. I'm gonna shut up and let you talk.
um, no, I agree. Everything you said so far. Uh, what else can I add? I should have taken some notes too.
That's all. This is how I survive. This is how I survive. Okay? Don't think that I just come off my dome and I'm so good. No. No. I require notes. Let me see. Oh, how about every time they saw each other, the cattiness and the fakeness? Madeline!
Yeah, that killed
Helen!
me.
Yo, so funny. Yo. I just, like, it was just hilarious. I was like, oh man, like the over the top stuff when they where they put it was dead on, dead on, and like the little remarks, what was it? Oh, one of my favorite little remarks was when they had Ernest and Madeline went to Helen's book party,
Mm-hmm.
and then they do the little fake greeting, and then Helen goes, my publicist says that Madeline Ashton goes to the opening of an envelope, And she was like, oh, but I fired her. Well, I almost did. And I was like, wow, that was dirty. That was really dirty. She didn't have to say that. So,
Hey guys.
oh,
Sorry,
hold on a second.
can you see me?
Hey,
Hey.
I can see you.
So they're at
I can see you.
they're at the book party and what was it?
Oh, so what I was saying is they were at the book party and no, Helen goes, oh, my publicist said that, Madeline Ashton goes to the opening of an envelope. And,
Oh,
so yes, I fired her. Well, I almost did. I was like,
did, did you catch the envelope thing? That one kind of puzzled
so,
me.
so basically what, it was a dig at, Madeline. Like,
Huh.
her status, like she's so desperate for attention that like, if you were throwing a party where the whole point of the party was just to open an envelope, she would come. That was
Oh my god.
yeah, right? It hits even harder when you realize that, right?
Wow,
I
that
was
makes so much sense. Like
yeah,
she's so nosy, but like yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
She's so starved for attention and stardom. Lovely says, what do you guys think would have happened if they were able to actually kill Madeline? What would Helen and Ernest do? Okay, so I do have some thoughts on that. That's a really good question, Lovely. Thank you. As far as that goes, I feel like the guilt would have eaten at Ernest. Helen, in my mind, had already started down that path of becoming Madeline.
Mm-hmm.
So he would be trading one for another because it would just get old quick. I don't think it would yeah. That's how I feel. What do you
Definitely.
think, Lydia?
He definitely got to that point where he's just like, the both of y'all are crazy. Like, I'm just gonna die peacefully and be done with you guys. And
Yeah, because like when he didn't follow the plan,
mm-hmm.
Lovely, when he didn't follow the plan, and he called Helen, he was like, I did it, I killed her, I pushed her down the stairs or whatever, and she was like, what part of the plan didn't you get? And she almost called him stupid. And she had to catch herself. I was like, that's what Madeline would have done. So you're right there. You're right there. You're already, the Helen he knew was gone. That girl's gone.
She died.
She died. Like she died. Like I want to say probably the last bit of her was gone when she was in the mental hospital in the office, and the lady said, you got to eliminate, and she took the word eliminate, and she goes, you're right. That's, I think that's when she was, I think that's when she, gone.
Yeah.
Gone. That's how I feel. Oh, and Lovely, she agrees. Lovely agrees. Appreciate it. And I saw like these two women they were manipulating him, Ernest, the both of them, as well, because even though Helen wanted to get rid of Madeline and everything, like she was still playing it up. Like she was she was playing it up when she was talking to Ernest, and I saw her falling out of character and catching herself and going back into character to pretend like she's innocent, and like I saw it and I was like, wow, the manipulation is wild.
She does the water thing in front of the mirror, and then it's kind of like paralleling what Madeline was doing in front of the mirror. She's like like when she's
Yes, yes.
Yeah, they're definitely very vain, and it just shows the absurdity when girls get at each other's throats. It's like, why are we even doing this? Like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think it also showed like how, I want to say, honestly, like how obsession, how vengeful
Yeah.
how revenge, how bitterness, how unforgiveness, honestly, can just harbor and turn into somebody else. Because again, Helen in the second half of the movie was not Helen in the first half. Like, she was a totally different person. And she just couldn't let it go. Because we already knew that Madeline was a piece of work. We already knew, you know. But Helen she dragged herself down too. So
Yep.
I appreciated that. Let me see here. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, again, she's listed as Lisel or something, but I could have sworn I heard everybody saying Lisa in this movie, the lady who has the elixir.
Oh,
So,
Isabella. Yeah,
yeah.
Rosemary, the lady who plays.
Yeah. So when Madeline goes to see her and she gives her whole spiel and presentation, she tells her that the cost is different for everyone, which I thought was very interesting. So in my mind, I'm like, I wonder how she, how she kind of like chooses and picks who she's going to like allow the secret of eternal youth, because I know that Helen did not have the money that Madeline did. Even though Helen said she gave it cost everything she had still, in my mind, could not have been the same as whatever check Madeline wrote out and gave to Lisa, because it made Madeline second guess, like, whoa, how much you want? Nah, I'm good, B. I'm out of here. Like, wait, how much do you think that was? Again, this is 1992, so.
Couple mil still back then. I mean,
Oh,
but
yeah.
like definitely like, selling your soul sort of moment. Like, she definitely knows how to pick people. Like, how far are you willing to go to get that?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That is a very good point now that you say that, because if we think about it, Madeline was obsessed with youth, and Helen was obsessed with getting revenge. And this elixir not only stops the aging process, but it kind of reverts it back to a certain degree. So I guess there's only certain points in your life when you should take it, I guess, for the first time, because if you're 80, it's going to bring you back to like 60. You know what I mean? 50? Maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe. So, yeah, that's, and Lisa, she was manipulative too. Lots of manipulation in this movie, because she waited until Madeline drunk it to say, "Oh, a
Oh
word
yeah.
of caution, now warning." Whoa! Listen, we about to throw hands right now, okay? What you mean? What you mean?
Yeah. That was. But she knew she was gonna go for it anyway.
Ooh,
Definitely.
I like that. Lovely says Helen's cost may not have even been just financial. Maybe she had to do something. Oh my gosh, I hadn't even thought about that. I hadn't even thought about that. Can you
Right, 'cause
imagine?
she wasn't that well off, so that's interesting.
That's very interesting. I mean, may not have just needed financial. Yeah, like, obviously, because she said it cost her all she had. That's what she said.
Oh, okay, true. She
It
didn't have
cost
to.
it cost her all she had. And we're thinking, oh, possessions and money, but the cost is different for everyone. Oh my gosh, the levels of like messages in this movie that you think is just a silly comedy movie. Oh, I can't even. The writing is just, I'm on point. Oh, so one of the things I thought was funny too. I mean, there's so many funny things, but one of the things that really got me was when they're in the hospital and Ernest left the room, and the doctor, he's getting operated on, I guess, because he can't believe what he just saw. And he comes back to the room and she's gone. He goes, "With my wife?" And they're like, "Well, they took her to the morgue." The morgue should be furious. Like, it's just Bruce Willis's delivery in this movie, like it's like everybody. Goldie Hawn, Meryl Streep, Bruce Willis, like this cast was ripe for the picking. He did such a great job. They did. They really did. And then talking more about the manipulation. When Madeline shot Helen, and Ernest was like, I don't want any part of this. And Madeline was like, oh, really? A word? Well, I could just pretend to be dead and frame me for my murder. And then she says, like, do you know what they do to, was it soft, bald, overweight men in prison? And he's like, I'm coming, dear. And I was like, oh my God. It's like, oh my God. Like, we only got to see a snippet of it. Can you imagine the years of manipulation and what honestly, I know it takes two for sure. And he stayed, but dang, she really broke this man down. Lovely says, yes, that was another hilarious part and perfect casting. Yes, guys, we're talking about Death Becomes Her. Okay. So, love this movie. You haven't seen it, recommend it. It's a good time. It's a good time. Let me see here. And then even even showing how vain Madeline is, like when it's years later and her housemaid is opening the blinds. She's like, aren't you forgetting something?
That part. It's like, you don't look a day older, or whatever it was.
Yeah, you look, I think, younger every day. It's like, yeah. Oh my, like, how bad is it that you're forcing her to say these things? She's not like, it's sad. It's sad. She ripe for the picking. Let's see. Oh yeah. I think the dogs, her pit bull, her Doberman Pinschers, they took the elixir too. Yeah, they took. Yeah. They took the elixir too. They had to have. Oh, you got a sit here.
Hey,
sit here.
Sit here. What's up?
Hey. Death Becomes Her. That's what we're talking about.
We're watching movies about dead people. What else is new?
And so what? Like the thing about Ernest that I like in this is, even though like you already know he's not a perfect person, he made his mistakes. He kind of made his whatever, but like at the end, he is the most level-headed, moral person, even though he technically pushed her down the stairs.
He's human. He's
yeah.
Yeah. And he's a mortician, so
yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely interesting to think about.
Yeah. So when him and Madeline were they had their fight up, when she just got in the elixir, she was feeling herself. Okay, mm-hmm. She was feeling herself. And he called her cheap, and she came back and read him for filth. Like I was like she came back so much harder than what he called her. I was like, relax. But then later and when she and Helen are fighting and she says, you and your friends are always talking about me, you thought I was cheap. I was like, oh, that's a real sore spot for her. That's a real sore spot for her.
So the boy toy earlier in the movie said she was cheap too.
Yes. Oh my God, I missed it. Oh my God. Well, Lydia, the rule of threes. The rule of threes in cinema. There we have it. Oh my gosh, I missed I missed that one. Good catch. Good catch. Oh yes. Listen, and he had it like they had a funny interaction too. She's like, oh, for goodness sakes, just at least lie quicker because I'm crying.
That part. I love this movie, man. It's such a treasure.
I love this movie. Like, I will be watching it again in the future. Like, it's so rich with dialogue, story, character. Like, guys, seriously, it is so good. And then, oh, and listen, when she kept saying flaccid, 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 I'm going, Madeline. Everybody has their breaking point. Relax, calm down. He's about to lose it. You don't see it? I see it, Madeline. And he's like, ah! But you know, I wasn't even okay. It's not right. I'm not condoning it, but I understand how he got to that point where he blacked out for a second. But he came to himself. He goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And he was going to help her, and she opened her mouth, and he goes, "Oh, boop." Epic fall. That was an epic fall down the steps, guys. That's an epic fall. That was.
There was a couple of them. There's a couple of the cartoon leaning back, and they're about to fall.
Actually,
but, yeah.
1, 2. There was 3, and all 3 characters experienced it. All 3. Meryl Streep, right? She falls. Madeline. She falls down the steps. Second was Ernest. When they hit him over the head so they can bring him to Lisa, he was over the stairs. He's about to fall back, and they catch him and make him fall on the floor instead. And then the third one is how it is the very end, the satisfying end. But this time, both fall because like it was so because like Helen's like, help me, and Madeline's like, and Helen's like, oh, for real? Bet. And we both going. Like it was so satisfying. It was so satisfying. And it was also funny, like how they got along better than either of them did with Ernest. Isn't that wild? Like years later, 37 years down the line, like they're like even if they had like a little bickering, but they still like were getting along so much better. I'm just like, wow. They became the same person.
In it for the long.
They became in it for the long run. Guys, don't sleep on Death Becomes Her. I'm telling you, there's so much in this movie. So much.
Yeah, that's how it is. You want to kill each other, and then you guess you gotta live with each other. Like,
oh my goodness. Like there really is. Like I know there was that Martin Lawrence movie, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, and this also was a great. Like I don't think they've ever loved each other. You know what I'm saying? But like, still, like they hated each other as much as you can because they tried to kill each other. I think that's the highest level of hate I can recall is when you're trying to end somebody. And now they spend the rest of their life taking care of. Oh God, that's, you know what? Speaking of that, let's address that right now. Well, no, I'm sorry. Before we do that, I want to talk about a little bit about the party. I noticed, I wasn't really trying to look for it, but I noticed, the lookalikes they had at the parties to represent those superstars, like Marilyn Monroe, Elvis, obviously, Andy Warhol, and then what I noticed this time around was when when Ernest ran and took the car, it was James Dean right there. I was like, hey.
I didn't catch that. I will have to look for that.
This is my first time catching the James Dean one.
There's the lady that comes up to him and says, "Oh, you did a good job on my aunt." I don't know if she's supposed to look like somebody, or
no. Like she was just somebody who like he had done some work on her. That was it. Like she was praising him for the work that he did on her aunt for the burial. And I think this was their way of letting us know how he does his work so well. He uses spray paint,
Yeah,
which again comes back later on. You see what the girls do and then what they use. So I was like, okay. Yeah, so that was good. And
yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
when Ernest is with Lisa, and she's telling him, like, she's great, live forever. And he's like, and then what?
I don't want to live
What if I
forever.
get bored? Right? What if I get bored? And then he talks about, like, you don't want to watch all your loved ones die. And I realized that my first concern before even that is actually, what if I get bored? Like, that's before everything else. Like, I'm gonna be bored. No.
Yeah.
So oh, and did you see where she when he was trying to run away, she called her what do you call them? Her Playboy male servants, whatever they are, Tom, Dick, Harry. I was like, okay, I see what you did there. I see what. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna have to look at who wrote this movie, because I know the writers. Because I would very much like to see what else that they may have written and worked on that I've watched or haven't watched. So
I know.
that's.
I know Robert Zemeckis has done like tons of stuff.
Mm,
He did Monster House, and that was the mocap was like super innovative. So with the
with
animation,
the
yeah,
house, what technically the lady
yeah,
died, and she. Oh yeah.
yeah, that
This
one.
okay. So that's supposed to be a kids movie. There's some very horror
That's
elements in there, man. I'm like, all right, you know what? You're up there with Coraline. You're not really kid friendly. You're a little bit more horror than you think you are. Like it's.
that's why I'm like this, okay?
No, it's good because I watch horror films from when I was like 7. So we're we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. um. So what I thought was so great how they wrapped this up was when having the girls go to Ernest's funeral 37 years later, and you saw that he got to have, like, live life for 37 years, and how they were talking about his life, and like he really did not waste. Like he talked about how he had wasted his years when he was talking to Helen, and he's later on, he's like, no, he not waste a single moment, not a single moment. He was like, no, life to the fullest. I'm doing it. He was outdoorsy. He married some girl. They had like 6 kids, and then he adopted kids. I was like, okay, you out here doing it. I see you, Ernest.
I forgot that. I know the priest said, this is a man that will live forever, and they're just like, yeah, right, and they just like get up and walk out.
Yeah, it was so funny because, like, so the other thing that they said that he had opened up, I guess, some kind of centers or established some kind of like organizations, and one was the study of women, which I thought was hilarious, so
Yeah.
hilarious. Another one was obviously like some kind of marriage counseling center. I'm like, well, that tracks. That tracks. um, so what the priest had said was the secret of eternal youth lies in children and grandchildren in his whatever, because he had said Ernest had discovered the secret of eternal life, and it made them stop in their tracks, and they turned around, and that's when the priest said, oh yeah, living on his children and grandchildren. They were like, get bent, and they just like, so you see, like, even all these years later, you see that they still didn't get it.
Yeah.
They still didn't get it. They haven't changed. They still didn't get it. So I thought that was interesting. So question for you, Lydia, as we wrap up. Would you take an elixir that offers everlasting life?
No. No. I don't.
It's all. Hmm?
I don't. No. I don't want to live
No.
forever. No.
It's going to also be a no for me, dog. No, no. I'm good. I will use my time wisely because I feel like the other thing about life being so precious is how short it is.
Yeah.
How, you know what I mean? Like that's part of why it's so precious, why it's so valuable to, for every moment, but not, to do what you can while you can. And if you are supposed to quote unquote living forever, like it's almost
Pre Bethany says, I would if Disney promises to make Aladdin 4. Yeah, I mean that's probably the only reason why I might drink it is to see the movies, like Beetlejuice 5,
oh, oh right, like what would come. So okay, this is gonna sound a bit like a dig, and I'm sorry if I am, but like 10, 15 years ago, maybe not even 15, maybe 10 years ago, I'm like, man, I wonder what awesome movies will come out after I'm gone down this. And then the last 5 years of movies, I'm like, oh, I'm not missing nothing.
Yeah.
No. I'm just, I'm joking. Like there's definitely some good movies for sure, for sure. I just think they're leaning a little bit too much into reboots and everything and remakes. That being said, obviously I'm watching Beetlejuice 2. Obviously, please.
Yes.
Obviously. Yeah. I'm gonna talk all this junk, but I will be watching it. So any final thoughts on Death Becomes Her?
Take care of yourselves, take care of your body, but take care of each other too. That part.
Yeah. Again, it just like because Lydia, I watched this so long ago, right? And before school, before anything. So like you, I'm watching it with different eyes now. I'm paying more attention to the cinematography, to the writing, to the props, to everything. It's even more so than before. So I'm like, I did not realize how much was in here. I thought it was just a silly, funny little movie about, so much. So yes, I agree. I agree greatly. Where can people catch you?
Me, like my Instagram or
Instagram, YouTube, what you got? Well, not what you got going on, but what have you done? How about that?
Lydia Nash Official and my IMDb. Check that out.
Yeah.
Zombie Chronicles, all that good stuff.
Yeah, season 2
and
is
Murphy's
coming.
Law.
Huh?
Murphy's Law. That's what we've been working on.
Ooh, okay. All right, okay. Well, as things happen, I will patiently wait for updates. I'm not here to pressure you. And I don't know if you haven't gotten a chance to get around to anybody, but this first season of Zombie Chronicles is on Tubi right now.
Yes, I'm so shook. Congrats, and let's
Thank you.
On there.
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. That's exactly because I'm like, let's get all the eyes on season 1 so that they are more, like willing to take on season 2. Let's go. Let's run it, guys. Let's run it. So thank you so much. Jedi Knight Vinny says hi.
Hi, Vinny. Vinny.
So thank you guys. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you guys for coming on. If any of you want to, have a chat, come on here and talk about a movie, hit me up, DM me. I'm always having these they're called Hot Take Tuesday Lives because they started on Tuesday. I move them to Wednesdays, but Hot Take Wednesday just doesn't have that ring on it. So yeah, I'm still keeping the name Hot Take Tuesday Live. I'm still doing it. Oh, haven't seen y'all since college, but glad to see y'all. Oh, okay.
Yeah, get together sometime, have a cookout or something.
All
You
right.
know.
Yeah. Oh, give me a follow. Hit me up in the DM. Let's have a conversation about movies. Vinny, what we doing? Let's go.
Vinny, you should do a hot take Tuesday. I want to see what you think.
Yes, they're fun. They're fun. They're fun. So hit me up and we'll talk about it. I will get you on the schedule. And again, Lydia, this was amazing. You already know we're gonna do this again.
For
Okay.
sure. Always
There's a
fun.
strong possibility. There's a strong possibility we might do this regarding Beetlejuice 2.
Yes, it's the law.
Right? Right? It has to. It has to. Oh, and I'm sorry, real quick. When I was watching the beginning of the movie, the score was just like Beetlejuice. Did you hear it?
I
Like,
definitely
like
what
it,
caught my ear was the redo of what is it? Daylight comes and they want to come home. Can't remember what the name of that song is, but Banana Boat Deo. I should be.
that was in Death Becomes Her?
No. Oh wait, you're talking about Death Becomes Her or Beetlejuice
Well, what I
2?
was saying is, oh, actually, I haven't. Oh, no. That's okay. So the trailer, the remake of that, yes, I like what they did with that. What I was saying is the beginning of Death Becomes Her, like opening credits and stuff, the music, the score was just like Beetlejuice.
Really?
Like, yes, go back and watch. I'm telling you right now. Like,
Definitely.
I was like, excuse me? What are we doing
Yeah,
here?
it's kind of eerie. It is, from what I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's perfect. Excellent. I got you. LOL. I'll let you know for sure. All right, Jedi.
Winnie.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. I will see you guys. For Hot Tech Tuesday live next Wednesday. New movie, new guest, and thank you so much for coming on. I love this conversation. Thank you for bringing this movie back into my life, Lydia. Thank you so much. This
Yes.
is why I do this.
Thanks for
And I
having
will see
me.
you. Absolutely.
You
Absolutely. Make sure you guys are
next
following Lydia Nash official. All right.
official. Goodbye. Like Gina Birch.
Bye.